In this episode, we'll improve the animations of our coins with something called tweens. And after that, we'll try to change the lighting of our game to something a bit darker. But let's start with the coins. Close this window and go to the coin scene, script, and here again we'll need something called func. Ready? And that's one of the default functions that we have access to. That is called on the start of the node. And here we'll type var tween will equal to create tween dot set loops. That way we've created our tween that it will loop over and over again. So tween dot tween property that will give us the access to the property of our node. We want to target self, and the property will be position, and position plus vector 2, and for now let's give it values 0 and 1. The last part is the time. We can copy and paste it below, so when we move up after that tween we should go down. So let's make it 2. That way our coin should move up and down, and that animation will be looped. We can start the game to see the result. And as you can see, our coins are moving up and down. That's a nice little touch, but let's create another animation whenever we pick the coin. We can close it, and the logic for that is here, on body entered. At the top, let's create var tween will equal create tween. This time we don't need any loops. And right below this audio and signal, we'll type tween dot set parallel and true. That way the two animations will play at the same time. And we can copy the tween from above. Again we'll animate self, position, and it will be -10 to make it go up. And this time it will be way quicker, 0.3. Also with the position we would like to animate something else, and that property is called modulate A. And that A stands for alpha, and that is the opacity of our sprite. We don't need this position, but instead we'll add it 0.0, and the time will be the same, 0.3. That way our coin should move up and slowly vanish. And instead of this self Q3, you would like to use the tween property that is called tween.chain and tween callback self Q3. And we can get rid of this timeout below. That way when our tween is finished, Godot will remove the node. Let's start and see if it actually works. Here we've got a coin and collect it. And the second one, it moves up and vanishes at the same time. And that's a nice little effect. Okay, let's leave the coin logic for now and focus on something new. That is the lighting system. When we jump to 2D and to the level 1 scene, our game at the moment is very bright. And to change it, we can add here child node, and it will be directional light 2D. The change is instant, but that's not the result we want to achieve. Maybe let's make it a bit darker to imitate the night in our game. So here in the inspector, very important is the blend mode. Let's click subtract, and the color, instead of white, let's make it a bit blue. And because the mode is subtract, that's why it turns red. We can change the energy to something lower, like for example 0.56. But it would be nice to add some lights to it. At first, let's make our coins to emit some sort of light. And in here in the area 2D, add child node and point light 2D. We need to add the texture to it, and we'll use gradient texture 2D. And when you click on the texture again and in the fill, and change it from linear to radial. That way it will be round. Let's place it in the middle, click on the gradient and swap the places. Perfect. Adjust it to the coin, like the yellow color. Let's save it and see the result. And the light is very nice. We can adjust the energy to make it a bit less, 0.6. We start the game. and it's perfect for me. And as an exercise, I would like to recommend you to add another point light, but this time to our character. That way the character will be lightened up. And that's often the case in the games, that our character emits a small amount of light. And if you're not sure, then check how I am going to do it. You can close it and to the player, add another child node, point light 2D. Again, texture, gradient texture 2D. We'll use the same way, and that is fill to radial. The light will be a bit smaller, so we can change the energy to 0.5 and the color from white to something more blue. A bit bigger, and run the game. And you can see that our character emits some sort of aura. And there is a bug in our game. Whenever we collect the coin, sometimes the animation of the point light is going down after the animation. And to fix it, let's close this window and add the reference to our point light, because the coin itself has vanished already. The thing that we see is the point light. So our reference will be called light, and in here we'll add another tween. And instead of self, this time we'll use light, and the property that we need is energy. And let's make it even quicker than 0.3, 0.2. You can run the game, and the light's energy when we collect the coin should slowly vanish as well. So let's try. As you can see, it looks very nice. If you're new to Godot, then you've achieved a lot at this point, so you can be proud of yourself. And in the next episode, we'll try to improve our character even further, to make it easier for you and your game as it may progress in the future. Because whenever the scope of your game increases, it's harder to maintain some parts of your game. And that's why we'll talk about finite state machine. And more on that in the next episode. See you there!